Every magic trick consists of 3 parts. The first part is called the pledge. The magician shows you something ordinary. The second act is called the turn. The magician takes the ordinary something and makes it into something extraordinary. But you wouldn't clap yet, because making something disappear isn't enough. You have to bring it back. The first part is called the pledge.
Make a firm pledge. Under my plan, no family making less than $250,000 a year will see any form of tax increase. Not your income tax, not your payroll tax, not your capital gains taxes, not any of your taxes.
The second act is called the turn.
A year as a couple, you probably think with this deal, well, we dodged a bullet. We're not going to have to pay any more taxes. Not so fast. For the past 2 years, everyone in this country has enjoyed a payroll tax reduction of 2%. The government did that because they wanted people to have more money in their pocket to spend and spur the economy. That has now expired, and we're all going to pay more. This is your Social Security money. So let's take a look at this. If you make $25,000 a year, how much more are you going to pay? Well, about $500 or so more per year. That's real money, particularly if you only make $25,000 a year. Let's step up here to $50,000 a year. This is the median income for this country. This is what most people are making in terms of an average. There it's going to jump up to almost $1,000 for the year. So let's say $80 more per month. That's a couple of tanks of gas for many people out there. So that's something you have to budget for. Move it up here to $75,000.
First part is called the pledge.
The problem is that the way Bush has done it over the last 8 years is to take out a credit card from the Bank of China in the name of our children, driving up our national debt from $5 trillion for the first 42 presidents. Number 43 added $4 trillion by his lonesome, so that we now have over $9 trillion of debt.
Are you watching closely?
According to the U.S. Treasury, President Obama has racked up plenty of his own debt in his first term, more than President Bush did in both of his. Radio extraordinaire Dave Ramsey says it's time for the president to at least share some responsibility.
First part is called the pledge.
To make government accountable is make it transparent so that the American people can know exactly what decisions are being made, how they're being made, and whether their interests are being well served.
Are you watching closely?
President. Just tonight, a House committee voted to hold President Obama's Attorney General, Eric Holder, in contempt of Congress for refusing to turn over documents related to a badly botched sting operation involving guns and drugs in Mexico called Fast and Furious.
Now you're looking for the secret, which you won't find.
We want, we're so gallantly dreaming. And the rockets wolves bursting in the air.
Are you watching closely?
The housing crisis is the most serious problem facing the American economy.
Well, Chrysler is asking for $7 billion.
We've always known that we'd have ups and downs on our way back.
You're telling me we got to go spend money to keep from going bankrupt? The answer, yeah, it's what I'm telling you.
I love these folks who helped get us in this mess and then suddenly say, well, this is Obama's economy. That's fine. Give it to me.
Critics of the government have said Obama's spending is out of control, especially after his massive stimulus plan.
We've seen the promises that they've made about the stimulus.
If we don't act quickly, we could end up seeing a much more severe situation than we're seeing right now.
So what is President Obama planning to do? Spend even more?
Never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
How many of you people want to pay for your neighbor's mortgage? President Obama, are you listening?
The least you can do is give up some of your compensation and some of your bonuses.
We're being told what cars we can drive, how much we can make, and now they want to take control of our health care.
The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally.
We're spending
$25 million a minute further into debt.
Valuation of the dollar.
If George Bush is driving us down the wrong road, why are we still on it?
It is progressivism.
This is the politics of the moment. This has to do with what can we get done right now.
China has a huge vested interest in the American
economy. The price of gas is nearly 50 cents higher than it was at the beginning of the year.
Today I'm pledging to cut the deficit we inherited by half by the end of my first term in office.
We're going to raise the debt limit. We always have. We will do it again.
The debt limit's not really the problem here. The problem here is the debt.
For the first time in the history of the ratings, Standard & Poor's downgraded the United States credit rating.
You think maybe one term is enough?
Exhausted of defending you, defending your administration, defending the mantle of change that I voted for.
Do we want to keep these tax cuts for wealthiest Americans, or do we want to keep investing in everything else?
This is not the American idea. Talking to people like they're stuck in some class.
How many people are now dependent on the federal government?
Why are gas prices still rising?
Food stamps are at a record high.
We have not had unemployment this high for this long since the Great Depression.
History cannot be allowed to repeat itself.